Here we go, September's voted thematic list build. Thank you all for placing your votes, but in a rare turn of events, favor has fallen to a rather unlikely faction. This one is for the Space Marine chapter dogged by misfortune, a chapter that has managed to hold on to their humanity, a chapter born from the cursed founding, a thematic list build for the Lamenters. The Space Marine subfaction rules are classified as chapter tactics. As a Blood Angel's successor, the Lamenters have the option of choosing their traits. And unfortunately, the Forge World Imperial Armor Compendium doesn't include the Lamenters in their list of successor tactic recommendations. So here's what I've selected. Born Heroes is aptly named and provides a melee-oriented +1 to hit if they charge, which feels appropriate as they are successors of the Blood Angels. And Stalwart, which provides a baby transhuman, which will allow these Lamenters to hunker down and bear the punishment better than their contemporaries. Now from a crunch point of view, I would rate these as a weaker combination than just taking the Lamenters with the Blood Angel's trait. The melee perk is both weaker and more conditional, and the Blood Angel's +1 to advance and charge simply pairs well with the powerful built-in +1 to wound and melee. But since the Lamenters are a Blood Angel successor, which are noted as having seemingly cured the flaws of the Black Rage and the Red Thirst, purists may find running them using the Red Thirst to just be a little bit off theme. Regarding the thematic objectives of the list, they are Born of Blood, to field units built for melee, harkening back to their ties to the Blood Angels, and Followed by Misfortune, to field units which can abstract the Lamenters' poetic bad luck. Now, let's head over to the list breakdown. The list is structured as a battalion. As is customary, let's begin with the troop slots, starting with 2 Assault Intercessor squads, both of which are equipped identically. They are 5 bodies strong, with the sergeants taking power swords and plasma pistols. In an Armor of Contempt world, the extra AP power swords have get the win for me, and if they are benefiting from the Red Thirst trait, their effective strength of 5 will wound other Space Marines on 2s, which is pretty good. Our third troop choice is a standard 5-man Intercessor squad, equipped with bolt rifles and the sergeant taking a power sword. With the troops covered, we can move on to the units which offer some punch and can facilitate the Lamenters' trademark misfortune. Taking up 2 fast attack slots are 2 squads of Plasma Inceptors. And in the heavy support slot is a 5-man squad of Hellblasters, taken with the standard Plasma Incinerator. The gets hot casualties that plasma weapons can trigger on supercharge will make for some tragic Lamenters moments. This is also why plasma pistols were included in our troop units as well. Following this is a Redemptor Dreadnought. The Ancient is here to add further target saturation, be a bit difficult to crack thanks to his -1 damage, while providing a complement of weapons for both anti-tank and anti-infantry. In addition, he can also serve as a vector for rerolls, using the stratagem Wisdom of the Ancients. Plus, the Macroplasma Incinerator offers more potential mortal wound splashback. And finally, rounding out the vehicles in the list are 3 Impulsors taken with shield domes. The Impulsors serve as crucial transports for the Assault Intercessors and Hellblasters, enabling a quicker and safer way to get up the board. They also create further opportunities for misfortune, as when transports are destroyed you must roll a d6 for each model within, and for each roll of 1, one model is slain as they disembark. This brings us to the HQs of the list. Now, I would have loved to include the Chapter Master of the Lamenters, Malachim Foros, but he's a Legends unit which already has its associated stigma. On top of that, Malachim does not have the worst keyword in the game, and so he can't ride within the transports here. And on top of that, as far as I can tell, the only warlord trait he can have is Inspiring Leader from the basic rulebook, all of which discourage his use. So instead, I have elected to recreate him using the standard Primaris Captain. Of the wargear sets available to the Primaris Captain, I have gone with the Mastercrafted Power Sword, Relic Shield, and Heavy Bolt Pistol combo. This provides our Count as Malachim with further resiliency and a decent weapon. He is of course the warlord of this list, and the trait he has been given is Selfless Valor, which boosts his heroic intervention range to 6 inches, allowing him to better play the part of the hero. And hell, why not go into the deep end of the tragedy pool and use the Angel's Sacrifice stratagem to force your opponents to target him? And in order to better emulate Malekim's Glaive of Lamentation, our captain's power sword has been upgraded with the Archangel's Shard, which tunes up the sword's strength and AP, and deals greater damage to Chaos and Chaos monster units. And the last HQ of the list is a Chaplain. It felt suitable to me for the Lamenters' second HQ to be in the support role, to keep their spirits up in the midst of all their misfortune. The prayer he knows is the Canticle of Hate, mostly because I find the mechanics of the charge system to be terrible, and so it's better to take the pluses where you can get them. And so to aid in his support, he's been given the relic the Vox Aspiratum, which will boost the range of all his auras, chanted or otherwise, by 3 inches. And that's the list, locking in at an even 2,000 points. A thematic list build for the Lamenters was a bit tricky. Like many have commented, they are more vanilla than your typical Blood Angel and Blood Angel successors. But I think where this list landed is pretty interesting, making creative use of mechanics which are ordinarily designed to punish. And interestingly enough, the large plasma squads wielding that AP4 Primaris plasma is kind of an ideal value to have in an Armor of Contempt world, and with accounts as Malekim Foros Chapter Master, it should help keep the tragic casualties to a tasteful level. That's a wrap on this Lamenters thematic list build. Thanks for watching, and a special thanks to my patrons, Julius Maximus, as well as the others who help keep the dream alive, and who populate the nominations for thematic list builds. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop them down below. Also, if you're interested in painting Lamenters, Tiny Legend has a tutorial on painting Lamenters yellow, as well as painting their chapter iconography. Links in the description. Anyways, there are buttons for liking, sharing, and subscribing, so press the buttons you want to press, and I'll catch you in the next one.